It's November again, so you know what that means. Time for another 50% off Criterion Collection sale from Barnes & Noble. Please comment any titles you picked up below, and I'll show you my haul right now. Starting with a little movie that goes all the way up to 11. Tonight I'm gonna rock ya, tonight I'm gonna rock ya, tonight I'm gonna rock ya tonight. This is Spinal Tap. I picked up the 4K UHD big pack there. Really fun movie. Give me some money. You know, I haven't seen the new sequel yet. The End Continues. But I'm very excited to do so because I've always loved This is Spinal Tap. Such a fun movie. See any discs there. They Told the World and Elsewhere. And we get our booklet as a little sort of magazine. You know, I've had it on VHS for years, and while I love watching it on VHS, this is kind of weird because it has all the bonus features and all the unused footage at the beginning, and then it plays the movie, and that's kind of distracting. I always thought it should be the other way around. Movie first, bonus features second. But great stuff. Of course, I showed you the soundtrack CD. Nothing on the cover. The album sleeve is just completely blank. Great stuff. So glad to finally have a nice Criterion Collection copy. Usually I try to divide things up between DVD, Blu-ray, and 4K, and I was able to do that this time. This was my sole 4K purchase, but I think it was worth it because it's one of my favorite movies. My Barnes & Noble used to separate them into sections. Now they just combine them all. You find the title you want, then you rummage through all the discs and see what type you need. Not a big fan of that arrangement. Kind of wish they'd go back. Alright. So a movie I saw on the big screen recently was 1922's Nosferatu, the original one, and they had live organ music with it, which was really cool. And they used, I think, either this DVD or a very similar one. It was definitely a restored print of the film, and that was so much fun to see. And one of, I think, the most underrated horror films, I know one I've always enjoyed, is Shadow of the Vampire. Willem Dafoe as Max Schreck, who of course plays Count Orlok in that film. Turns out he's actually a vampire who's also an actor on the side. And John Malkovich's obsessive, controlling director, F.W. Murnau, even though it probably wasn't how F.W. Murnau was in real life, but nonetheless, he's determined to make the perfect vampire film, even if it means killing most of the cast and crew. I say that because the next film I picked is my number 611, being John Malkovich, which I've actually never seen, but I like John Malkovich in all the movies I've seen him in. I know I haven't seen everything he's done, but I've seen a goodly portion of his films. And I thought, you know what, I've actually never seen this one, I kind of need to, so I thought it seemed like a good idea to purchase that. I always try to upgrade, I always try to pick things that I haven't seen yet that I should see. I thought this was the perfect candidate for that. Moving on, you know, something I've been doing is working my way through the entire series of Columbo. I have the box set with all of the Columbo episodes in them, slowly getting through them all. You feel like you've seen them all till you actually sit down, look at the episode list, and realize that there are quite a few that you haven't seen. There's always one more thing, just one more thing. I say that because I love Peter Falk, so I had to pick up Mikey and Nicky, directed by Elaine May. Elaine May also directed Ishtar. Someday I need to do a video on Ishtar because I like Ishtar. It's not great, but it's not as terrible as everyone else says it is either. And I thought, you know what, I kind of need to see more of her works, and also see Peter Falk, in this case with his good friend, John Cassavetes. If you saw the Columbo episode Etude in Black, there's Columbo and the Killer right there. I don't know much about Mikey and Nicky. I'm not super familiar with Elaine May's work. I know John Cassavetes and Peter Falk did many movies together. They were good friends in real life, so it makes sense that they would co-star in several productions besides this and that Columbo episode. So I'm kind of excited to see this one because I don't know all that much about it. I think it'll be a good one. There are always Criterion DVDs or Blu-rays or whatever that I look at, and I always say, I'm going to buy that next time, I'm going to buy that next time. For a long time it was The Brood, which I reviewed last Halloween. I passed on it probably 4 or 5 times before I finally said I need to get The Brood. This is another one that fits into that category. Rainier Fassbender's Querelle. Every single time I've been there, I've looked at Querelle, and I've never purchased it. I really like Brad Davis, who of course plays the eponymous character Querelle, He was really good in Midnight Express. Here's the novelization. Well, I shouldn't say novelization, the original novel, but it has pictures from the film to kind of promote it as a tie-in, that sort of thing. But he was really good in that. He's in one of my favorite episodes of the 1980s Twilight Zone reboot, Button Button. Even though Richard Matheson didn't like that one, I really enjoyed that one. So I like Brad Davis a lot, and I thought, you know, it makes sense. I should probably get this movie. Plus, I don't review enough LGBT stuff on here. I should do at least one video every year, probably in June, and sometimes I skip that, so be a good one to look at in that regard. And last but not least, I always pick out something that I want to grab immediately. I make a beeline for it and pick it up. I wanted to get this last July when I went, and it actually hadn't been released yet, The Big Heat. I've been waiting to see The Big Heat. I've seen parts of it. I've seen a lot of Lee Marvin scenes and stuff, but I've never seen the whole thing front to back, and I really needed to. I love film noir. I almost always buy a Criterion film noir, so I definitely wanted to buy The Big Heat. I was also looking for Gilda, which I think has been released on Criterion Collection, but I don't have that particular one, and my local Barnes & Noble didn't have it either. I know there are a couple references to Gilda in The Big Heat as well, particularly the use of the song Put the Blame on Mame. But nonetheless, I really want to see The Big Heat, and Glenn Ford's great in everything. Someday I need to get 310 to Yuma, so I can see him in that again. I watched that as a teenager and really liked it, but I've never seen The Big Heat, so I'm really excited to actually sit down and watch it. So that was my haul for this year. Again, please comment your haul below. Sale runs till the beginning of December, and of course Barnes & Noble always has lots of other fun things too. I picked out a Beach Boys book and a couple other odds and ends for myself and for friends, but was very happy with what I got for Criterion. Can't wait to start digging into these. Please comment some of your favorites below. Hope to see you next time. More Beach Boys content and more fun new releases on Blu-ray, DVD, and everything else are in the works. Hope to see you for those. So long, everybody.